The 23-year-old Jasmine Robinson has been missing, and Robinson is about 7 months pregnant and is considered endangered.
Robinson was 23 years old and pregnant at the time she was reported missing.
People across north central Florida are trying to find Jasmine Robinson.
She's out there, and we don't know where she's at.
Detectives say that Robinson was last seen February 19th at home by family members. The next day when they woke up, she was not at home.
Whoever saw her last, we need that information to bring Jasmine home.
Jasmine Robinson had just finished her shift at work. She was 7 months pregnant, getting ready for bed, and had a prenatal appointment scheduled for the very next morning. But by sunrise, Jasmine was gone, and her unborn child has never been seen again. Jasmine Nikesha Robinson was born on February 6, 1996, and grew up in the small, close-knit town of Archer, Florida. It's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, a one-stoplight town with just a handful of stores. Jasmine was raised by her grandmother, Miss Rosa Robinson, who also raised her older sister, Shantavia, and several other grandchildren. Family was everything to Jasmine, and she remained especially close with her older sister and grandmother throughout her life.
Jasmine has been living in Archer all of her life, and her family members say it's odd to not hear from her in so long.
We were really close. We always hang out together.
I miss her a lot. She's a very sweet person. She never did anything to anybody.
Those who knew Jasmine described her as sweet, kind-hearted, and deeply involved in both school activities and her church. Jasmine was an active member of St. Joseph Baptist Church in Archer, Florida on Jonesville Road, where she sang in the choir and went to Sunday school. Jasmine attended Williston Middle High School, where she played basketball and earned the nickname Breezy for her talent on the court. She graduated in 2014 and stayed rooted in her Archer community, continuing to live with her grandmother, Rosa. Just a few years later, in late 2018, Jasmine found out she was expecting. Jasmine had identified as a lesbian all of her life, which made her unexpected pregnancy all the more surprising to her family. But for Jasmine, there was never any hesitation. She embraced the pregnancy with excitement, already referring to her unborn daughter by name, Jamelia. She told her sister she wanted her baby's name to start with the J2, just like her own. And despite the complicated circumstances between Jasmine and her alleged baby father, Jasmine was clear she was ready to become a mother. On February 18, 2019, Jasmine began her day like many others. She video chatted with her sister Shantavia. During the call, Jasmine seemed emotionally off. She confided that the man she was pregnant by, 56-year-old Christopher Wiggins, had been calling her repeatedly at work. Jasmine told her sister that Wiggins was upset about the pregnancy and wanted her to terminate it, even offering to pay. But Jasmine made it clear she wasn't going to do that. She was just too excited to become a mother. Later that day, after Jasmine finished working her shift at the McDonald's, she called her grandmother, Miss Rosa, to ask for a ride home. When Miss Rosa arrived to pick Jasmine up, she noticed that Jasmine was visibly upset. Jasmine said she'd been receiving upsetting phone calls throughout the day and seemed rattled. Rosa remembered Jasmine saying something was happening, but she didn't go into details. Her eyes were filled with tears, and she looked emotionally overwhelmed. Once Jasmine and her grandmother arrived home, her grandmother said Jasmine went into her room for the night, and that was the last time she saw her granddaughter. Around 8 p.m., Jasmine called her Aunt Bertha, who was expected to pick her up for her prenatal appointment the following morning. They confirmed the meeting, and Jasmine told her Aunt Bertha that she planned to go to bed soon. The next morning, on February 19th, Aunt Bertha came by to take Jasmine to a scheduled prenatal appointment, but Jasmine was nowhere to be found. She hadn't left a note, and none of her belongings were missing except for her phone. On February 20th, her family reported her missing to the Alachua County Sheriff's Office. From the very beginning, her family feared this wasn't a case of someone walking away. Jasmine had left behind nearly all of her belongings, and there was no activity on her social media, bank account, or any sign of communication. For someone who was excited about motherhood and never missed work or appointments, the silence was terrifying.
The 23-year-old Jasmine Robinson has been missing, and Robinson is about 7 months pregnant and is considered endangered. Detectives say that Robinson was last seen February 19th at home by family members. The next day when they woke up, she was not at home.
Whoever saw her last, We need that information to bring Jasmine home, or make a strong case against whoever is responsible for her not being able to reach out to her family.
Authorities quickly classified her disappearance as suspicious, and foul play was suspected. Investigators named multiple persons of interest, but one name stood out early on: Christopher Wiggins. Christopher Wiggins wasn't the best person. He was 56 at the time and is believed by Jasmine's family to be the father of her unborn daughter. And just 5 days before Jasmine vanished, Wiggins committed an armed robbery. It happened at a Bojangles restaurant on February 13, 2019. He reportedly held people hostage and fled. At the time Jasmine went missing, he had not yet been arrested for that robbery. Jasmine's family also says the father of Jasmine's baby girl was married, and on February 17th, just one day before Jasmine disappeared, she reportedly outed Wiggins as the father of her baby. She made the pregnancy known. Jasmine's family believes this may have been the moment Wiggins' wife found out about the pregnancy. After that, tensions reportedly escalated. And remember how Jasmine was visibly upset at work and had been getting distressing phone calls? Wiggins allegedly argued with Jasmine and tried to convince her to terminate the pregnancy, offering to pay for the cost to not go through with it. But she refused. Jasmine had already picked out a name for her daughter, and she was determined to raise her with or without his support. Just this information alone gave the family and investigators enough reason to believe Wiggins had a clear motive: avoid child support, avoid public exposure, and silence Jasmine before things escalated further. Jasmine also had a little run-in with the law herself and had a court appearance scheduled for February 28th of 2019. It was in connection to a larceny charge, and she was ready to take that head on. But of course, she never showed up, and by then, she had already been missing for over a week. And to be clear, this isn't mentioned to shame Jasmine. It's to show that she had responsibilities she was planning to face. Her family shared that she was ready to move forward from the charge and wasn't afraid of the consequences. With her baby girl on the way, Jasmine was focused on turning a new chapter in her life.
Jasmine is facing an upcoming court date for a change of plea for charges related to mobile phone theft and credit card fraud. But her family doesn't think that's a factor in her disappearance.
I don't think that court date and all that got anything to do with her missing, because Jasmine, she was paying her money. She admit that she did some wrong, and she was paying for it. She was seeing her probation and paying her money for it. I don't think this got anything to do with her being missing. I really don't.
This detail added more suspicions for investigators, but despite suspicions, no one has ever been arrested or charged in connection with Jasmine's disappearance. Jasmine's disappearance left a painful open wound in her family that still hasn't healed, saying she would never leave without a word, especially not with the baby on the way. Jasmine had plans, a growing belly, and people who loved her. The family continues to believe that someone knows what happened, and they haven't given up and hope for answers.
I miss her a lot. We are in a serious situation to where we need answers. It shouldn't be nobody that's cold-hearted like that to just leave us standing as of where we is now.
It's just very heartbreaking. So if anybody, out there that know anything, please let us know.
We just want Jasmine home. Until this day, it's still gonna be bring Jasmine home.
And we're still praying. We ain't giving up.
Anybody that know anything, just please come forward.
Jasmine Robinson was 23 years old and 7 months pregnant when she vanished from her hometown of Archer, Florida. If you know anything about Jasmine's case, no matter how small, please contact the Alachua County Sheriff's Office or call Crime Stoppers. Before I share my thoughts, please take a second to like the video and comment below with your perspective. Jasmine's story deserves to be seen, heard, and shared. This case has so many heartbreaking layers. Jasmine truly deserved better. And in my opinion, there's no way she ran off. She was so excited to become a mom. That much is clear. And despite the stress in her life, the recent court charge, and the complicated relationship with the father of her unborn child, Jasmine seemed determined to move forward. She wasn't someone trying to run from her problems. She was being responsible, showing up to work, going to her prenatal appointments, and preparing to face court with an optimistic mindset. Nothing about her actions suggested she wanted to disappear or leave her life behind. But I do believe someone wanted to silence Jasmine, and I'm not here to speculate. I don't think I need to, because I think most of us have the same name in mind when we think about who might have been involved in Jasmine's disappearance. What matters more is that this was a young woman who was trying, a woman who had already picked out a name for her unborn daughter, a woman who was making the best of a difficult situation and still choosing motherhood even without support. No one deserves to be hurt or silenced, especially not an expecting mother. And no family deserves to live in this kind of pain year after year with no answers. This case is heartbreaking because it's not just about one missing person. This is about two, Jasmine and her daughter Jamelia, both robbed of their futures, both still missing from the lives of those who loved them. This is the story of Jasmine Robinson. Thank you for listening.